Hi, my name's Laurie Blakeman, and I am the MLA for the fabulous constituency of Edmonton Centre. And I'm also running as leader for the ALP. Now, this video blog is going to be on education generally because it's much on people's minds right now. I just want to give four set the context observations. One is that education is not one of the 11 portfolios that I have had as an opposition member over the last 14 years. So by no means am I an expert. I don't know it intricately. Two, education is one of the top 5 issues identified as a priority every time by my constituents in Edmonton Centre. And I think that's true for just about everywhere in Alberta. 3, I'm the child of 2 teachers. My mother was a K-6 teacher and principal. My father was a high school administrator and started as a trades instructor in a vocational high school and spent quite a bit of time doing that. And lastly, I see education as an investment, and I mean that. I think at the end you have an asset. You can measure that asset because it's an educated citizenry. Or some people prefer to think of it as an educated worker. I prefer the citizens. But it's something tangible that you've invested money into and you now have an asset you can count on at the end of it. Rather than viewing educational expenses as an operating expense that you write off and it's gone at the end of every year. So those are the 4 contextual observations I have. Now, education is unbelievably complex in this day and age. We now have a new Education Act that is out there to be looked at by people, and I encourage you to do that. We're looking at a new learner-centered, more flexible approach, a more collaborative approach to education. But remember that the government that's trying to put this in place is the government of less government, less involvement in various programs and services. So you have to be careful about this. It's one thing to talk that big talk, but the implementation of it could be quite different from what you're anticipating. So the proof of the pudding is the eating of it. I think the end of all of this is whether you view education and the point of education and schooling, I prefer education, but okay, call it schooling, as a worker output. Rather than a way of providing creative, innovative, analytical thinkers. And as we move from a resource-based economy to a knowledge-based economy, I think we need those innovative thinkers. And that is about approaching education differently, both in the way we fund it, but also how we evaluate it and what role we expect it to hold in our society. So I hope that helps people understand what I think about education. And I think we've got some very good teachers and administrators in the system and in the Department of Education. So lots of good things to build on, but some amazing places to go.